Fantasy football can be very cruel sometimes. So each week on Couch Potato Diary, we go through the best performances from the least owned players to show that there are some darlings in the fantasy football dumpsters. For the fantasy football dumpster darlings of the week. So let's go into it. We will start at the quarterback spot where Bryce Young is 13% owned with Carolina. 31.82 fantasy points. A huge start for our dumpster darlings. Up next at wide receiver is Tyrell Shavers. He is with Buffalo. You probably could have convinced me that he was on either Montreal or Saskatchewan in the CFL's Grey Cup last weekend. He's 0% owned. So as much as some of those players in the Grey Cup are in fantasy, 17 fantasy points with Buffalo. Our other wide receiver is Xavier Legette, 7% owned. My guy put up 16.3 fantasy points. At running back, everyone knows Buffalo can really run the football. Not many people know that it's Ty Johnson who can do it. 2% owned, 14 fantasy points. Up next, Green Bay getting injury at running back. So in comes Emanuel Wilson, 8% owned, puts up 13.4 fantasy points for the people who are handcuffing Josh Jacobs. I would imagine that start percentage right around 0. Up next, AJ Barner, 9% owned. We chased it before, didn't work. Are we buying it again? Little bit, 12.1 fantasy points for Seattle. Our flex, Greg Dortch, who is apparently still in the league, 3% owned, 15.6 fantasy points. Our kicker, Matthew Wright, probably just a randomly generated player from Madden, 1% owned. Apparently he plays for the Texans, and he put up 12 fantasy points. And lastly, our defense, the Miami Dolphins, 6% of owners just don't care about their bench. But they had Miami, and they picked up 9 points. So, our team, with the highest owned player as Bryce Young, and one player at 0, one player at 1, they come up with 141.22 fantasy points. Again, driving home that fantasy football is a cruel, cruel business.